Here are the horoscopes for the week of the 21st to the 27th of December 2015. This week we experience the winter solstice. Astronomically, the winter solstice is the sun rising and setting at the same place, and this is measured in monuments like Stonehenge. So we have 3 days of the sun rising and setting at minimum arc from our perspective on Earth. So for these 3 days we can go through a journey of initiation. We've got the longest nights, we've got the longest amount of dark hours before the sun starts to increase its arc across the sky and the days get lighter. This was important because the sun is all to do with the crops, it's all to do with survival and being able to feed ourselves on an outward level. So the ancients would have celebrated the 3rd day of the solstice as they started to see that sun's arc grow wider and experience those longer daylight hours. This means that the crops can grow, the earth is fertilised, the seeds come up, and we can work the land and bring in the harvest and feed ourselves. So it's a very, very ancient primal energy as we start to witness the increase of the strength of the sun. But like I say, it's actually a 3-day event. We don't need exact timings because whenever we're working energetically, we have day 1 where we go into the darkness, where we release anything that we don't want to take forward. So there's a grateful banishing kind of energy, just holding still, hibernatory energy around the beginning of the week as we walk into this 3-day event. So day 1 is to be still, to be releasing, to banish with gratitude anything that we don't want to take forwards, and to sum up everything that's happened. Because energetically we often take things forward that we don't need, so that can be resentment or retention or friction or anger or holding on to an issue that has served its purpose. So on Monday, Tuesday, even though we're called in the modern world to be outwards and busy doing Christmas shopping and parties and wrapping everything up, it's actually a time when we would have been still, when we would have been in the darkness, embracing the darkness and having a think back to the last solar cycle with gratitude for everything we've received, but letting go of those tensions, just taking the seed of awareness forwards rather than dragging all of the baggage forwards. So there's no need to be heavy, there's no need to work on a linear continuum when we work with initiation processes. This is the time to let go. So Monday, Tuesday, very much of a letting go, embracing stillness and quiet, being reflective and having a retrospective. This is like New Year's Eve really, just looking back to everything and summing up what we've learnt, what we've received, being grateful for that before we step forwards. On the 2nd and 3rd day we can actually work with purification. It's like the held breath. So we're dealing here, once we've let go of what we don't need, before we rush to fill the gap and bring in more, can we just pause? Can we just be pure? Can we hold a true vibration? So Tuesday, Wednesday is a wonderful couple of days to actually feel your core vibration, to actually feel that heart-centered, simple, childish purity and joy that is your true essence, rather than all the labels and plans and psychologies and narratives that we have. Can we just get back to that single tone and embrace the simplicity of our life spark? Then as we come out of the solstice, it's a time for new intentions. The moon is still in its growth as we go towards the full moon on Christmas Day, which I'll come to in a minute. But we can actually set these intentions now as we have the sun has passed into Capricorn. That's what the winter solstice is as well. It's the sun's transit from Sagittarius to Capricorn. We've got this feeling on Wednesday and Thursday of the rebirth of the sun. So just as we've honoured that spark, it's now time to shine that out. And through that amplification, as we grow with the sun's light and with the hours of daylight, as we begin to witness that growth on the outside, we're very much talking about the inner sun and our inner light and how we can nourish that and amplify that on the inside. So this is a celebration of life. This is the rebirth of the external sun for the agriculture and the food and survival. And this is the inner sun, which is your own heartbeat, your own light, and what you hold true and what you resonate out into the world. So by Thursday, the sun is reborn. It's the end of the winter solstice. We're now ready to fill up that space that we've cleansed and purified and grow with that sun's light as we step into the new year. So Christmas is actually New Year. The whole New Year's thing being at the end of December is not astrological unless you're considering the alignment to Sirius, which is a different thing altogether. But by the time we get to the 24th, it's actually a time to feast and to celebrate, but after that it's a time to withdraw. So it's quite tricky working with the modern calendar, because just as we should go back into our hibernation phase after having shared the food and sat around the fire and told stories and come together and remembered the ancestors and celebrated the rebirth of the sun outwards and inwards, just as we should be going back into ourselves, into that Capricorn feeling of a bear hibernating in the winter, we're drawn outwards to celebrate Christmas Day on the 25th, Boxing Day 26th, and then all the way through to that false New Year at the end of December. So how to work with this? Well, being conscious of what would be natural, we can kind of not get too caught up in the external. We can enjoy our Christmas meal, absolutely, and enjoy our family and honour the ancestors, the ones that have passed and the ones long gone, and feel reconnected with that ancestral spark, but maybe just take the pressure off from having to go to all these visits and parties and things, and don't get too caught up in all of the external madness that can come in at that point. So if you don't feel like being super sociable or super celebratory after the 25th, then that's fine. Maybe just honour your family and your soul connections and take it easy, because by Friday, Christmas Day, we have a full moon in Cancer. This is at 11:11 for anybody that likes their numerology, so 11 being the 11th sign of the zodiac and the star card in tarot, Aquarius. Then this is all to do with our self-illumination, so that couldn't be more perfect. 11:11 being self-illumined at the time of the rebirth of the sun. But this full moon is in Cancer, which is all about the home and sharing and food and family and love and those kind of external human emotions, as well as the love that we feel for ourselves and the love for life that we have in the cells of our body. So I feel that one way to transit through this without unnecessary emotion and psychology, which can be the outward expression of Cancer, I would say love your cells. Just get back to that cellular feeling. What's the real connection between you and your family and your friends? Once we take away, like I say, all those psychologies and labels. So maybe just feel the resonant energy of who you're with and keep it nice and simple, because otherwise a full moon in Cancer on Christmas Day could bring out some emotions and some arguments in certain situations. By the time we get to the weekend, we have Uranus turning direct. So for the next week, we have all the planets in direct motion. So this is a good time to make plans, but we're now in the waning phase of the moon. So those are plans that may not come to fruition too soon. And also we're heading towards a Mercury retrograde, which will take most of January. So it's a tricky one again when doing the New Year thing and setting intentions. I think set some pure intentions on the Thursday, on the rebirth of the sun, but then maybe take a time out until the end of January before you try to put those into practice, because with Mercury going retrograde in Capricorn, then whatever you're thinking and planning for your mountain climb ahead for the next 6 months may have some revisions. So from about the 5th of January, I think we've got time to revise and time to see what it is that we actually need to change before we can plan things going forwards. So the retrograde will be along from the 5th-ish of January all the way through to turning direct at the 25th, and maybe not even until mid-February, or actually out of the woods, as it were. So I feel that this altogether is teaching us to break with convention, because Uranus is all to do with doing different, not having to just follow the leader or follow tradition, and just because it's been done that way before doesn't necessarily mean it's still relevant. Something that was relevant in the past may not be relevant now, so it's not that everything from the past and tradition is totally irrelevant and silly. It's just some of it is not going to serve us going forward. So Uranus thinks differently. It has bright vision for the future. It can be a rebellious aspect. It can be great fun as well. So it's a time to begin to start thinking differently. And then when that Mercury retrograde comes in, we'll definitely start to think differently, deconstructing something first before we start to rebuild on more solid foundations. So all told, this can be put together by beginning to just break with Christmas traditions and the pressure in the first place. Do we have to go out and party? Do we have to run around like crazy things? Can we honour that hibernation and that pure inner spark rather than being pulled outwards? Can we just maybe relax in that post-Christmas week and not try to do things and please people? And can we take it easy on what they call New Year's Eve and not force ourselves to go out and be in an external environment if we don't feel like it? Can we again just keep that simple, because this really is a time of a 3-day celebration of hearth and home, and then retreating back into the coldest month, although it's not very cold in England at the moment, but retreating back and just allowing things to unfold. So the stars are giving one story, which is that just be simple, just be honourable and take it inwards, and yet the current calendar pulls everybody out into stress and arguments and all sorts of complications. So maybe this is the challenge this year with that full moon in Cancer. Can we keep it cellular? Can we keep it centred? And can we keep it authentic and get the bigger picture and start to break some of these unnecessary traditions that have been forced upon us over decades? So enjoy your rebirth, be simple, be still, be calm, be grateful, and let's see what the new year brings. So those are the horoscopes for this week, and I'll see you next week. If anybody would like to explore the year ahead, I am actually around on the post-Christmas period, happily hibernating in my flat in London, so please do contact me if you'd like to gently start to have a look at how you can work with these new incoming energies, with building that light, with what it is that you're looking to create in the year ahead. And that can be done through an astrological reading or tarot or a combination of both, over Skype or in person. So please do contact me if you'd like to do some gentle, silent, inward planning as a respite from all the other Christmas activities. I also offer gift vouchers for readings and courses, so if you are stuck for a present and would like to give somebody something that will bring them presents for the whole year, then obviously an astrological reading or how to learn astrology or tarot for yourself is the gift that keeps on giving. It's a very relevant present, seeing as Christmas is an astronomical event anyway. So please do contact me if you'd be interested in buying a gift voucher. I also have my online group, which is very much an all-year gift as well, where we're meeting online in a private group to discuss relevant energies, the current energies, and surrounding questions to do with astrology and tarot. So it's a beautiful group, it's very heartfelt, it's very embracing, and if you'd like to be part of that, then it's a subscription of £5 a month, but that's something that you could actually engage with for the whole year and learn astrology for yourself as it happens. And that's also available in gift voucher format if you'd like to give that present to somebody else too. That way we can stay in contact and learn together. So for any of that, then please do contact me, zoehines7@gmail.com.